Welcome back over here to the Georgian house, ladies and gentlemen. I've been putting a lot of these paneled jambs in, and I'm going to show you guys one of the kind of specialty ones. It's broken up into several different panels to incorporate with the beam layout of the ceiling. But panel jambs are great. They are definitely like a super easy way to elevate an otherwise boring space. And you definitely see them on these kind of Georgian houses like this one. If there's a place to put millwork, a Georgian house typically is going to take advantage of that. So let's step inside and knock out one of these panel jambs. So this jamb right here is going to be the largest panel jamb in the entire home. It's going to be broken up into 3 sections. You can see I've got my backing on for those 2 sections. In that mid section I'm about to put in, I'll use 3/4 inch backing here for my panels. And the reason I do that is because once I shim it, once I get it right where I want it, it's off the rough framing, right? It's shimmed off that. And even if you push on it, it's not gonna move. It's not like a 1/4 inch where if someone comes up and leans on it, it's going to move with the pressure from them pushing on it. The 3/4 inch, if you shim it in enough locations, it's good to go. It's a nice, stable, sturdy, rigid product. And I like using it for my panel backing. The only reason you wouldn't, say you bump down to 1/4 inch or something, would be to not lose any width in an opening. Obviously, I've got over an 18-foot long opening here. I'm not worried about that, and I'm not worried about any height loss either. So 3/4 inch it is. And I've got it set up. See, I've got it level across jamb, and a length of the jamb as well is level. People are walking around, so that laser's bouncing a little bit. But yeah, this thing is good to go. And that seam right there is broken right on a beam to the great room. So I'm going to have a little rail going across right there that's going to hide that seam. So that will not be seen. There will be no visual interruption of that back there. So I could pop my laser down and then trim my shims off. These are ready to go. And with my jambs here that I've been doing at this house, I've had anywhere from 14.5 to 14 3/4. They've been pretty on point. So I'm just doing 14 5/8 has been the long point on this particular jamb. And I'll subtract 7 because I've got 2 3.5 inch styles, and that puts me at 7 5/8. I can take this over to my little table saw, my little Festool slider. I love having this thing on site for these quick little repeatable parts. Got a 7 5/8 bump stop set up there. And I need to make 2 rails that are actually 4 1/4. So I said 3.5 earlier, but 2 do need to be 4 1/4 because when a 3/4 covers 4 1/4, it will reveal 3.5. So hopefully that makes sense. You'll see it come together here in a minute. But I'll go ahead and cut my other rails. These are all 7 5/8. And that'll get me across my jamb to be as flush as possible for my casing on each side. I'll take all these parts to the John Deere, and then we'll get all of our holes cut in them. And this is a quick machine. Anytime you guys see me use this machine, I always get questions about it, but it's actually not a John Deere product. It's the Castle TSM 12. Best pocket hole machine on the market, in my opinion. So since I have a opening that is over 18 foot long, my poplar is 16 foot lengths, so I will have to make a seam on that to get me all the way across. And I'll just do that using some pocket screws and some glue. And I already measured the length of it and cut these pieces to size. Now I am using 1 5/8 screws here because I don't want to use 1 1/4 and have this thing flimsy and as we're lifting it up and accidentally break. With my 2 long stiles glued together, I can install my 2 4 1/4 inch rails on each end. These are going on the far end, and then I'm measuring over for the placement of that mid rail. There's going to be 2 mid rails there lined up with those beams. I'll get those in position and then screw those in to create the panel layout that I'm after to match those beams. So once I get this thing assembled, it's really easy to lift up. I mean, this thing is super long, so I will need help lifting it, but it is ultimately a really good product that I'm delivering here. It's glued, it's screwed. A painter can sand this. It's going to be flat and flush. Like, it's going to be very minimal prep work, and they can sand it. It's not going to rattle apart. And I just like doing it this way because, again, look, 2 guys throwing this in, it's set, it's done. We don't have to do it piece by piece. We can do it on the sawhorses and then lift it up as one. So I'm a big fan of pre-assembly. I think I say that a lot here on the channel, but I can't stress it enough because you're really delivering a better product and you're really making it easier on yourself, which is, why not do that? So you can see I've got my straight edge there. And anytime, if you've trimmed out a house before, all these jambs aren't exact. So I move them and, I kind of get them in place where the difference is split on each side. So if I have a 14 and 5/8 wide panel that we just created and say my, internal wall there from tongue and groove to tongue and groove isn't exactly 14 and 5/8, then I split the difference. But what you want to make sure is that you're always bigger. You never want to be smaller. And you don't want to be much bigger. You want to be like a 16th, an 1/8 at the most, because your casing really can't hide those kind of things. And if it's too bad, then you need to get out your track saw and do some custom pieces. But you'll see there as I put these pieces in, we cover up that 4 1/4 and it reveals that 3 1/2. And you can see we've got some trim in that top panel now as well. Just really makes it pop. But this is what I was talking about right there with that 3 1/2 and 3 1/2. That 4 1/4 got covered up and they just look just perfect. It's just a perfect reveal. So that's what I was talking about earlier. You can clearly see it there. And there's just something about putting this millwork in, then seeing a house go from rough framing to drywall. And then we get tongue and groove. Then we're doing panel jambs. And then we're doing casings. And then crowns wrapping it up. It really is a very rewarding job to do finished carpentry and to do it at this level. It's just fun. There's really no other way to say it. I'm not sitting behind a computer all day doing spreadsheets or just, I don't know, doing kind of nonsense work. There's some of that involved in the administrative side, but this is my favorite part of the job, is just seeing this stuff come together. You can see Nick got that trim in there. Man, that looks good. But yeah, the last piece of this is going to be wrapping it with casing, and our casing really cleans it up because you can see my panel backing there. You can see my shims. Not a clean look, but we will ultimately have it looking like this. And then we're getting really close to having those guys trail behind us and paint it, and I can't wait to see that.